And this is highlighted in some pretty gruesome fucking scenes of them just murdering children, which, you know, I am all about because... Hello and welcome to Blockbuster Review. If you don't know what that is, it is where I play a single game of Tetris Marathon and attempt to review a film in 150 lines or the blocks reach the top, and spoilers are at line 50. So Dr. Sleep is the sequel to The Shining, the book sequel to The Shining, as well as a movie sequel to The Shining by Stanley Kubrick. Now, as a fan of both of those things, it kind of creates an interesting question, because the book The Shining by Stephen King is a little different than the movie The Shining by Stanley Kubrick. But Stanley Kubrick, no offense to Stephen King, made a very iconic and some would say perfect horror movie in The Shining. And of course, when you're making a movie sequel to The Shining story, you're gonna base it on that. So I was not concerned, I was very curious how the director and writers were going to merge those two things, because on one hand you're like, okay, well, you gotta make it connected to the movie Shining because that's what everybody knows, but the book The Shining doesn't end the same way the movie Shining does, and there's a lot of different, not completely different themes, but there's different themes, there's very different kinds of things in it in terms of the horror set pieces, so how do you do it? So I watched the director's cut of Dr. Sleep. It was on HBO Go for a while. I don't know if it still is. I don't think it is. But I watched the full 3-hour Dr. Sleep, and I dug it. I mean, that's the short answer. I dug it. It is long, but it was very cool. I tried my best to read Dr. Sleep, the book, before seeing it, but then HBO said that they were going to be removing Dr. Sleep from their library, and I don't know if it's going to be going to some other library, Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or whatever, so I just had to watch what I could, and I'm only maybe, I want to say, a third through Dr. Sleep, and I dug the movie. Because as you may or may not know, The Shining is about Danny Torrance, the child in The Shining, a little bit more than it is about Jack Torrance, who was played by, you know, that one actor's name, Jack Nicholson. And The Shining, I mean, the title The Shining is based on what Danny Torrance can do, which is he can commune with the spirits. He's kind of psychic, and he learns how to control it and how to deal with it by this character, Dick O'Halloran, who was played by Scatman Crothers in the original thing, and he doesn't die in the book, but he died in the movie, so problem right there, but he appears as a spirit in in the movie version. And little things had to be amended here and there to make this all work, and one thing they did in the movie that I thought was bold is they film the scenes that would have taken place with Danny Torrance and Wendy Torrance at the ages that they were at the Overlook, which they're not going to get those characters again because that movie was made quite a long time ago. So they just recast it, and they do good jobs. Scatman Crothers guy does a great job. The Wendy Torrance woman does a fantastic job. I have their names over on this thing right next to me, but the Tetris line is so high I don't want to risk getting completely screwed. But it's really cool, and then, of course, we know that this movie stars Ewan McGregor, who is Danny Torrance as an adult, who is dealing with his own demons, which is alcoholism, which was really the point of The Shining, the original one, was the hotel, the Overlook, shines, and it kind of uses the darkness in people against them, which in Jack Torrance's case was his drinking, which was a problem, and it hurt Danny Torrance, and Dan, he becomes Dan as he gets older. Dan Torrance has the same problems. He becomes an addict for alcohol, I think basically just like his dad, and the movie has him kind of hit rock bottom so that he can become a mentor to a new little girl who shines, named Abra, as she deals with her big issue, which is not someone in her family, you know, coming out of this shine situation where they're being manipulated by this horrible evil place. No, her big enemy is this group of people called the True Knot, who literally like eat the souls of children that shine so that they can live forever. And this is highlighted in some pretty gruesome fucking scenes of them just murdering children, which, you know, I am all about, because that's kind of like a horror movie badass moment when they allow bad things to happen to children, like on screen. You're like, okay, it takes some balls to do that. You're going for that hard R. I dig it. So Abra, who's a very powerful shine, because it's very kind of arbitrary, but people shine better than others, and they have stronger shines, and the stronger the shine, which they called, what was it, like, steam? They called it the steam, the True Knot. The harder they shine, the more delicious that steam is, and the longer that those people can live forever. And they get the scent of Abra. Of course, it's pretty clear Dan Torrance becomes her mentor about the Shining, and then they together have to fight the True Knot. And, you know, I mean, we're already past spoiler alert. Of course, they're successful. And the thing I need to know, though, is that the movie ending involves going back to the Overlook, which isn't destroyed at the end of the movie, which is the way it is in the book. Dan tricks Jack Torrance, or the spirit embodying him, and then lets the building explode, which destroys him and destroys the Overlook. But in the movie, the Overlook is still standing, so they actually take the leader of the True Knot, Rose the Hat, out there, and they set this trap where the spirits of the Overlook feed upon her. And it's this really awesome scene. There's awesome moments at the Overlook. It's one of those things where I'm curious, as a fan of The Shining and of the book, of the movie, I'm curious how the book Dr. Sleep ends and how much they had to put in these little nods to The Shining, because there are a ton of them. There are so many nods to The Shining. Some are warranted, some just seem really fucking weird, and I won't go into what they are because I'm running out of time here, but I dug it. That's the point. Dr. Sleep, the director's cut, which was 3 hours. Pretty fucking rad. I think you do have to enjoy the book, the movie, the prequels, and otherwise to kind of really, really sink your teeth in, but I dug it. So I hope you do too, if you happen to watch it. But mostly, I hope you have a good day. I'm losing my ability to talk. Have a good one.